cost of attendance. But before we do that, before we dive in, I want to introduce AJ Jones, who's the Vice President of Enrollment Management. He wants to give us some his thoughts to start us off. Thank you, AJ.
Thank you very much, Mary, and good afternoon to all of you that are joining us from all different parts of the United States, and I dare say even outside of the US in other parts of the world. We're excited to have this opportunity to talk with you about an office that is very special to us. It is not common that you would find an office of scholarships and grants on college campuses around the US. And we take special pride in the fact that our institution has made a concerted effort to build an operation within enrollment management, which I'm an area I'm responsible for, to help families, help students find the kind of resources they need to finish their education. This goes back to our very founding as a Jesuit institution. Our mission as a Jesuit school is to walk along with those who need the help to fulfill their God-given destiny. It's what we've been about for over 100 plus years. And so the issue of affordability has always been top of mind for us. And that's why this Office of Scholarships and Grants exists. Today, you are going to be taken through a platform that we're very excited about, Scholarship Universe. And there's no one better to do that, to walk you through what that is all about, than Mary Musso. I think someone calls her, so I heard it said she's called the godmother of money here on the campus. And so I think you're going to be served very well. Let me just end by saying that my responsibility at the institution as the Vice President of Enrollment Management is simply twofold. One, to help the institution garner the tuition and fees that it needs so that we can continue to do the mission that we're called to do. The second is that every student, whether undergraduate or graduate or professional, has the return on investment, the ROI that they seek. If you are going to be a member of our Wolfpack family, some of you will be brand new to us in the fall, and some of you that are on the line now are already members of the Wolfpack clan. If that is who you are, then we have a commitment to you to ensure that at the end of the day, when you walk across the stage and you're handed that Loyola degree, that it positions you to be able to get back triple time what your investment has been with us. And that's what we're committed to do here as an institution, and certainly here in enrollment management, and helping you to find the funds to get there is a part of what we do. So thank you for spending a part of your afternoon with us. We hope that this will be itself a very rewarding time for you. I'm sure you'll have lots of questions, and again, great benefit for being here. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much, AJ. Really appreciate you being here. Looking forward to getting started. Alrighty, so I am going to just jump right into my presentation. I'm going to share my screen with you. A couple of housekeeping items would be that if you have any questions, you can drop those into the Q&A area. Only I can see your questions in Q&A. Not everybody can see them. I will try to answer your questions as we go, but we will have 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the webinar time to go through some Q&A responses. Okay? Alrighty, I am going to share my screen and we can get started. Alrighty, well, here we are. We are talking about trying to fill the gap between the cost of attendance and your financial aid package. So essentially, and put it another way, would be you have, if you've been admitted, you will have your scholarship from admissions. If you've completed your FAFSA, you will have any federal, state, or Loyola need-based aid, any loan availability. You'll have all of that. Most of Loyola's students have something left, the gap between those. And that's where I come in the Office of Scholarships and Grants. We want to help students fill the gap between cost of attendance and their full financial aid package. So we're going to be talking about Cash for College, but it's really about building a scholarship system. We're going to talk about platform, and I'm actually going to do a quick demonstration of our Scholarship Universe platform that Loyola University provides to all of our admitted and enrolled students. Then we're going to talk about a process to assist with applying for scholarships and tips to build persistence in the whole process. We'll go into some Q&A after that. Okay, we're off. All right, so just so you know, this is a video, and I'm going to be narrating this video. This is the easiest way to do it. So to get into Scholarship Universe, as soon as you're admitted, you log into single sign-on. Now, to set up your accounts, you'll get an email that gives you that entire process. Once you're in single sign-on, you can search for the app Scholarship Universe, or you can just go down into the screen to click on Scholarship Universe. All right. Now, when you first arrive in Scholarship Universe, the very, very first time, you may get a secondary login request, but you just click the link that says, I don't have an account yet. And then you'll be able to get in. From then on out, it will drop you into the dashboard and or your profile. But this is the profile setup, which consists of quite a number of questions to build your unique profile. You'll start with the basics, where you live, where you're from, where you went to high school, GPA, things like that. So during this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and answer some of these questions. As you can see, this is a test dummy account, of course, but it does mimic some of the properties of most of our students. This question in particular has 5 different answers for Loyola, or 4-year Jesuit, Catholic, private, nonprofit university. It's really important that we are as particular and detailed as possible when answering questions. Now, in the upper right-hand corner, you can see that there's a kind of a counter. So as you answer questions, you'll see that your matches increase in the upper right-hand corner. It's very important that you put full time in this top area if you're going to be a full-time student. And then we will continue on. Here's your high school question. Now, if you're a graduate student or law student, doctoral student, it will still ask you this and you should still answer it, but it won't be as relevant as it is for the first year freshman students. So you can see our counter went up to 3 from 2. Now, some of the questions are very long, like this. This one is asking if your parents or family work at any of these companies. So, what this means is that every single one of these companies on this list has a scholarship in Scholarship Universe. Now, Scholarship Universe holds over 18,000 scholarships, and they can be very specific or very general. The scholarships that this question is asking for would be more specific to a family member of an employee of a specific company. I went with ExxonMobil. A lot of our locals work there. Now, be careful with these very large questions because you would think it would be the only question on the screen, but very frequently it's not. And there's a tiny question hidden in between two large questions or at the end. If you're a US citizen, you would put in US space citizen. If not, you will find all citizenship possibilities in that question. And again, we are talking about Loyola University, New Orleans. That's where we're planning to attend. We continue on, and you can see now that our matches went from 3 to 10. And now our opportunity is over $9,000. Here's another really huge question. Be careful with these and make sure you answer all the questions on each page. Okay, now we're going to head over to the dashboard. A couple of things I want to point out on the dashboard. The first thing is the box that says Scholarship Universe 8909 open and future scholarships. This box is actually a counter of how many of the over 18,000 scholarships are currently open and available for applications. This is very important because it indicates that this process is not a one and done type of deal. This is something you want to come back to and see if there are any more open scholarships to look at. Right here, it tells me I have 99 scholarships needing questions answered. You always want to look here, and if it's not a 0, go ahead and go back to the green bar, click there, and answer any unanswered questions. And of course, I have 10 scholarship matches to address. All right, we're going to go to our primary screen, which is our scholarship screen. It has a number of different tabs across the top. This is the first tab in the primary list. This is the scholarships that you have not addressed at all at this point. Of course, we just did the questionnaire, right? So in a lot of different places in Scholarship Universe, you're going to see 4 to 5 different icons. You've got a pen, a bar chart, a circle with a line through it, and a speaker. So the circle with the line through it is the icon that you press if you're not interested in applying for a scholarship. Once you press that icon, the scholarship will be moved over to the Not Interested tab. And I'm going to just show you how that works. There it is. Now, if you ever want to move a scholarship back to your matches screen, you just click that Not Interested icon again, and it will move back into your matches. Alrighty. So the next icon that I want to talk about is the statistics icon. This is the bar chart, the horizontal bar chart. If you click it, it will give you some statistics about that particular scholarship. Matches, partial matches, how many people have pinned this in their Scholarship Universe, and then applications submitted. I do want to say, take that with a grain of salt. Applications submitted is just how many people have clicked on apply. To get rid of this, you click that icon again. The pin icon will move a scholarship from your matches into the pinned tab. You would want to do that if you were doing reviews of your scholarship list, decided that you wanted to apply, but you didn't have time to do it in the moment. So that when you go back to Scholarship Universe, you won't waste any time deciding to apply for it again. You already know you're going to apply for it. It's in your pinned tab. Okay. Of course, you can always move pinned scholarships back to matches as well. I recommend to students that they start with the View button. You click View, and it will give you a little bit more information about the scholarship, as well as why you were matched to that scholarship. You can see the icons in the upper right corner again, not interested in pinned. Now, to apply for a scholarship, you go ahead and hit apply. You'll be opening a new browser tab. You have to have pop-ups allowed on your computer. It's going to take you right to the scholarship application site on the donor's website. This is where you'll do all of your applications. So once that application is completed on the donor's site, we'll go back to Scholarship Universe and make sure that we know that we did indeed apply for that scholarship. The way that we do that is now in the upper right corner, we have a new icon. It's a square with a check mark. This is how we indicate that we did, in fact, apply for a scholarship. We say applied and the date applied. Now, once we give Scholarship Universe a date and submit it, when we go back to scholarships, that scholarship will no longer be in your matches list. It will instead be in your application submitted tab list. Okay. Alrighty. So back to matches. And at this point, I think we have covered almost everything that we need to on this list. You'll notice in the upper right corner that there's a sort feature. Application, the scholarships are sorted by the date that they close, the earliest close date, but you can change the sort feature. The next two menu items, applications and awards in Scholarship Universe, relate directly to Loyola internal donor-funded scholarships. These are scholarships that students can be eligible to apply for in their second semester of their freshman year. These scholarships go up for and accept applications every January, February for the following academic year. So in January 2027, we'll be accepting applications for the 27-28 academic year for Loyola donor-funded scholarships. Get a lot of communication about that, so be on the lookout, but it will be something that you'll see around campus. Okay. So the next area is My Documents. This is my favorite part of Scholarship Universe. It's the way that we can manage to become very, very efficient. In My Documents, you can upload any kind of media that you need to apply for scholarships. This could include resumes, reference letters, audition tapes, videos, video essays, and most importantly, any essay or personal statement that you've written and used to apply for a scholarship. I'd like to encourage everybody to open their mind to the idea that essays can be reused for multiple scholarships, and they should be in order to make this process successful for you. Okay, so let's move on. Now that we've gone through the platform and we've seen the My Documents area, let's talk about the scholarship kit. A scholarship kit is very important to improve your ability to apply for many, many scholarships in a shorter period of time. So you build it once, save it in My Documents, and use it again and again. So, of course, our time is very limited and very valuable resource, and we have to use it wisely. The average time to complete a scholarship application should be about 15 minutes. You have to use your My Docs area, scholarship universe to accomplish this. Just remember, the goal is not to start from scratch every time. A blank piece of paper is soul sucking. It's discouraging. It's horrible to almost all of us. So do yourself a favor and write some things up so that you're never starting with a blank page or a blank screen. Okay. So let's talk about scholarship kit. Now, your scholarship kit can include all kinds of media, essays, personal statements, resumes, reference letters. But these are the things that I think are a really good start to get you started, get you going. So we're going to talk more about the master personal statement because I think this is extremely important. As a high school student, especially just starting out, sometimes it feels like you don't have a personal statement. Some students have been working on that for some time, but the majority of high school students have just been focusing on schoolwork and extracurricular activities. So we'll talk about the master personal statement. And then you could, this is optional because you don't want to let the process of, you don't want to let perfection stop your process, right? So this is optional, shorter versions of your personal statement, 100, 150 words, 250 words, 350 words. That is very optional and probably something you should do kind of later in the process of building this out. A one line as to why this major, why this career statement. Maybe you haven't chosen your major yet, like you're undecided. Go ahead and say, why undecided? There's so many good reasons to be undecided when you're just starting out. So own that, and it will make you unique in a way that a lot of readers of scholarship applications rarely see. Okay, and then any key supporting documents that you may need, your resume, reference letters, musical performance, videos, audio, auditions, athletic videos. There's so many different things. Art portfolios, photography portfolios. We have so many different students doing and talented in so many different ways. So you know what it is for you. Okay. Moving on to the personal statement worksheet. We have a personal statement worksheet that's a Google Doc, and I'm going to be sending this out to everybody after the webinar. It is designed to help you develop a compelling personal statement for scholarship applications, and it uses prompts and questions to brainstorm, organize your experience, goals, and just the things that have happened to you during your life. You always want to be honest, specific, and it should always reflect your unique journey. That is what really draws the attention of readers of scholarship applications, uniqueness. So the personal statement worksheet has 10 sections on it. You'll see that when you receive it in an email. And essentially, in every section, it's going to ask you 2 to 3 questions that you should fill out. Take your time. This is very important. And the more time you spend on this, the less time you have to spend on scholarship applications later. This will be the bedrock foundation for nearly every scholarship application you complete during your time at Loyola and beyond. All right, so let's talk about avoiding one major and common pitfall when working on your personal statement. I hear this a lot, and I hear it from my sons as well. You think you're a high school senior and you have nothing to say. That's a hard situation to be in, and I totally get it. But I'm here to tell you that You've been through it, you've seen it, you've done it. Just because you're 17 or 18 years old doesn't mean that you don't have life experiences that are unique and specific to you and that people will be interested in hearing about. I mean, heck, all of you were in middle school during the pandemic, the first pandemic since 1918. So, right there, you've got a whole lot to talk about. Um, an example of how you could think about, getting started is, even if you have nothing to say, what changed, what became harder, what role did you take on, and what you learned. So think of it that way. One hard thing I lived through was, before that I was, after that I became. Okay. All right. So please don't be too hard on yourself and be sure to um, take your time, shine your light. Okay. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. This is hard and it takes time. You have to treat it like a job. It's the only way to do it and be successful. On average, you have to apply for 20 to 25 scholarships to receive just one award. You'll be rejected more than you're accepted. Just remember, it's not about you. It's how the system works. It always has, and it likely always will. Okay? So if you're tempted to apply for 20 scholarships and then watch every day or every couple of hours to see if you've gotten a response, don't do that. Just apply and forget about it. And be sure to read all of your emails in case you do hear back from somebody. But don't take the time to try and track all of them or anything like that. It's just discouraging, and it can be hard to face rejection on a regular basis. So just know you're going to be rejected more than you're accepted. That's the way it works. It's not you. Okay, so we've talked about the elephant in the room. So why are we doing this? Why apply for external scholarships? Approximately $100 million in private scholarships go unused or unclaimed annually. And often it's due to a lack of applicants or highly specific criteria, which also plays into be unique, right? So there is a lot of funding out there for students to take advantage of. Just have to buckle down and do it. Okay, so one of our last slides here, let's do the math. Return on investment, ROI. So we've already talked about how your time is very valuable and it is a resource. So when you use your time as a resource, you have to look at what your return on your time investment was as it relates to job or applying for applications. They both have, in many cases, a monetary return on investment. So here's an example. This is a real life example. You apply for 24 scholarships. You're awarded one of these scholarships. You were rejected 23 times and you got accepted one time. It was worth $2,000. On average, it took you 15 minutes to apply for each of the 25 scholarships. That means you spent 6 hours to apply for scholarships and roughly another 4 hours preparing and choosing the scholarships you would apply for. Your payoff was $2,000. Divided by 10 hours worked, you earned $200 an hour. That's an equivalent of an annual salary of $416,000. Many people don't even come close to making that type of annual salary or ever making $200 an hour. So you can see that the return on investment, when you do the math, is substantial. All right. I hope that hits home with all those prospective business majors and MBAs and um, investment banker dads and moms, um, and all the rest of you too. All righty. So, wrapping up, I'm going to provide a video recording of this webinar to everybody who registered. And so please watch your inbox for an email from me. That's my email address there. Attached to this email, I'll also be sending a few tools you can use to get started. I'll be sending the personal statement worksheet as well as help getting started guide as far as building a scholarship kit and starting to apply for scholarships. Please reach out to Office of Scholarships and Grants with any questions or concerns. And before I wrap up and move to Q&A, I want to give you our contact information as well as our Instagram QR code that you can use to follow us on Instagram. A lot of our students follow us there for the latest and greatest on scholarships and grants. Now, one more thing, very important that I want to be sure everybody understands is that scholarships for 26-27 academic year are open right now and available to apply. The peak time to apply for scholarships is December through April of the year prior to the fall semester start. So for year 26-27, the peak time to apply is December 2025 to April 26. So we're right in the middle, got about 6 to 8 weeks left of the peak season to apply for scholarships for 26-27. I know that's hard to hear because everyone is very busy being a senior in high school or finishing up an undergraduate degree, but it is very important and imperative that we take care of this before the end of April so we don't miss out on the bulk of the scholarships. Now, having said that, I do also want to stress that Scholarship Universe is adding scholarships all the time. There's always a scholarship to apply for in Scholarship Universe. So even if you were to go in there in August, July, September, there will be scholarships to apply for. And I encourage you to make this part of your weekly or monthly schedule. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I'm going to try and do that. Okay. Alrighty. So I am available for Q&A if anybody has any questions at all to ask. Okay, well, I don't see, just got a question. Okay, no questions, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me. It was really great to get this information out there. Be on the lookout for an email from me in the next few days. You can rewatch this, watch it with somebody else, and also I'll be sending the tools as well. Thank you so much, and thank you for considering and joining Loyola University New Orleans.